Okay, so welcome back to another watercolour painting demonstration. Today we're in Bergerac down a back street. You can see the focal point, which is the figure here, dark against a very light arch, and the buildings on this side, we've got raw sienna buildings, deep in shadow. On the other side, burnt sienna buildings at the front here, again deep shadows. And we're just going to get straight into this one. Right, so the drawing's done, and we're just going to get straight into this. It's just a little patch of sky here, so we're just going to pop that in with the mop brush. I'm going to take that down the horizon there, and that's the only patch of sky that I've got in here. I'm just going to put a couple of super speedy washes in. Got raw sienna on this side, it says. The great thing about sketches is you can kind of go back to them and just kind of make stuff up, really, which is what I'm doing here. Just using the notes of the sketch that's there, and that's all. Just come across here a bit lighter. Let's pop in some of the burnt sienna back here in this building. Leave some of those little marks there. So this is all buildings down here. Bleeding a little bit with the road pathway. Now back there we need to have that very light, I think, almost white really, but we'll keep it nice and light. In the back I'll probably have a sienna, raw sienna that is. And then I'll just take that out with a touch of tissue. Just in my bag. There we go. Take that one out. Need to keep that as impactful as we can there. And then the decision is what colour for this. In the sketch is very, very light. So again, I'll probably go for this. Let that bleed in there, that's okay. Keep that light as well. We'll bring that through. I just want to make this even a little lighter back there. There we go, to push that back. We'll let this bleed in, it's no problem. What I will do is I'll just slightly take the sky out. Here attached, just to make it a little bit light. Okay, so that's stage one done. We need to let all this dry off, and then we'll work on the second part. Okay, so this is nicely dry, and we'll go into the next part, which really is getting straight into some of these darker tones. This is just a little bit of leftovers, Payne's grey. Pop in some of these tops, not everywhere. Shadow colours here. This is just a bit of raw umber. Pop that in. There, with a touch of it. The Payne's grey. Touch of ultramarine blue, just to darken this out a bit. Let that do its thing there. Pop in some of these. was still wet, and you can see there's bled in there. It's not too bad. Can live with that. Tip of the brush there for some of this finer work. Warm it up with the shadows. Now, what there is quite a dark light that we've got here. Street light. I'm just going to pop in the character. I'm going to keep them quite dark as well. Notice how I've gone in a little bit closer. Almost like a holding it like a pencil now. There we go. Put in some of this at the back there, some sort of distant windows, but I'm going to sort that out in a second because I'm not. They definitely need to be a bit lighter. Put in a few lines here, a bit of dry brush. Coming down. And these lines as well. Kind of almost getting there with this in terms of its, and then we'll pop in the shadows. Just a roof in there and in there. That'll do. This is all brick walls here. Can soften this off with some clear water. And obviously I'll have to look back to the sketch of the shadows in a second. What I was going to do and I didn't do is just fade those out at the back there, that's better. And we're kind of done on this one here. Just put a couple of scratches in. So we're getting to the final stage now. I just want to show you about the way I prepare a few shadow colours, different types, cooler and warmer. So obviously I'm putting in the alizarin crimson, permanent rose, and kind of mix those up a bit. Same, very similar. So in these wells, just put in plenty of liquid, and the same as down here. Going to use this one as a larger one. So plenty of liquid in there. And then I've got my ultramarine. And I just drop this in the side. If you look, let that do its thing. Palette keeps moving around. And then just a general one over here. So you can see the purple of that. Obviously a bit cooler. This one much cooler. This one a bit warmer and a bit warmer still. We can warm this up here. And then we're going to look at the original sketch and just put those shadows in quite quick. And this one's just coming right the way down, and here all the way in. We don't mess about, you just get straight into the shadows. Pop that one in there. On the other side, most of this was in shadow as well. Again, just get it straight in, don't mess around, don't keep fiddling, just go straight in. Always works better that way. Pop in a touch, a little bit of blue in there. And the same as across the top here, just to let that feed in down there. Now, in the background, there were some more shadows. This is in shadow. You got this characters in shadow there. Obviously a shadow under that bridge. And there was one across the back here, but I want to make sure that that's light and that's much too dark. So we're just going to take that out. Because it's going to lose the impact next to the character if we don't do that. It'll come back to haunt us later. So there's a little error there. So we'll pop that one in there. And we're almost done with the shadows, popping those in. Just going to warm up here with a touch of burnt sienna. Just let that do its own thing as well. The magic appear, a touch more blue in the base here, I think, just to warm this, cool this down, warm it up, whichever way you want to look at it. Adding blue will make it cooler, but I just want to give some variety to the shadow. Not all looking the same. You can see the pigments coming through now, the granulation. Now the final thing on this is looking at it is to just quickly re-establish this lamp, because with the shadow colour it just kind of faded away. That's not quite right. Let's take out some of this. I might just pop in some white on there to finish it off when this is all dry. Get enough pigment, there we go, on there, and that will really do it. I think we're kind of done. Just going to put in a couple of scratches just to lead the eye into there. So hopefully you enjoyed that one. We'll get the tape off, see what it looks like as usual. All the usual stuff. Remember to like, to subscribe, to comment, ring that notification bell. There it is. Thank you very much. Take care now, and happy painting.